Welcome to the June 29th edition of the Key Ministry Idea Share. Again, we've been doing these for the last several months now, just as we all figure out how to do ministry during this time, how we prepare for reentry, that type of thing. My name is Beth Golick from Key Ministry, and Catherine Boyle, our Director of Mental Health Ministry, is here as well. And we're just happy to see these friendly faces every Monday. So welcome, thanks for being here. Does anybody have anything to share about what's new? Maybe you had service this weekend. Anybody want to fill us in?
I'll just let you know that as of Saturday night, our church shut down completely. Gone back to planning on services regathering. Texas is bad right now. San Antonio is the third worst city in the country. So we are not knowing what's going to happen. We are very in the unknown. We have an all-staff meeting tomorrow on Zoom at 2, but 9:30 on Saturday night, we got a directive that all staff is forbidden to come on our church property. I was already working from home, but that was my choice because of my husband's health situation. But staff had gone back for 3 weeks, but as of today, no one is allowed back on campus. So we're in a setback, unfortunately.
Oh, I am so sorry to hear that. I mean, I've heard stories, but I did not realize that was. Wow.
And just to share, I mean, it hit home to me. One of my volunteers, who's been volunteering with our special needs ministry for 11 years, he's in the hospital, but his wife texted me this morning. He's been in for over a week with COVID-19. He's 52, so not old, healthy, no risk factors. He will be reduced oxygen and on his feet for the first time today. So prayers for Brad. He's just been amazing with our kids and in this ministry. So that kind of hit home to me. So sure. Emotional time.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. Well, that's not the news I was looking for this this Monday. How about anybody else? What's the status where you are? I can share. So I think many of you know I'm outside of Cleveland, and our church hosted its first outdoor, so our first gathering, and it was completely outdoor. Like nobody was allowed indoors. So staff had to wear masks. There was a section, so the congregation had to reserve, and we had 12 by 12 squares marked off. There was a section for those who chose to be in the non-singing section. So if you were there, you were non-singing, and masks were mandatory in that section. It was, and I see there's Ryan, there's a couple other Ohio people on here. It was gorgeous on Sunday, but it was hot. And there was not raining. So thank you all for the prayers going into this past Sunday. But it was hot, and there was like no shade for the people that were up on the stage. It was pretty warm. We had about 150 at each of the two services, which of course is much smaller than we would have on a regular Sunday morning. And then I told you that we were doing little goodie grab and go bags for any families that came. So this is what they look like. We were told we couldn't have paper, so that meant no coloring pages. So we printed out on these labels and stuck them to the bags. And then inside we had, like a sticker scene, which technically is paper, and Cheerios, and crayons and Play-Doh, and one of those like hand wipes you'd get if you're eating ribs. So and the families really liked it, and it was easy to do. So continue to do that. Oh, Bronwyn missed my bag.
Yeah, it's for some reason 9 a.m. is hard for me to do.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
It's a lot easier to do. Yeah, you should move to the East Coast. Just saying. So it went well. It's different. And it was kind of wonderful and strange all at the same time to see people again. So that's the experience at my church. So anybody else like to share? Yeah, Meekins.
So I found out that they gave out 104 of those little goodie bags like you're giving out.
Wow.
Today in church. Yeah. And this was just preschool. This isn't even the older kids. This is just preschool. So this is kindergarten on down. And they include kindergarten and preschool. And so this is our prayer and this is our concern. A lot of people from Lynchburg are going down to the beaches of North Carolina and South Carolina. Mm-hmm. And of course, there's an upswing in COVID cases from the beachgoers. So we're just praying they don't bring it all back to Lynchburg with them when they come back. So, but yeah, there is an increase each week of how many people. We haven't been back because of health issues, but there's been an increase each week. So I'm hoping, and we're praying for Texas, but I'm hoping that we don't have the same story to sing that Diana is singing over here about, shutting down again, because that would be really hard on some people. If you're just sliding along and staying in status quo, it's not as hard. But if you're there and you're eager and and then you have to go backward, that's hard.
Yeah, sure.
So we're here, opening at a glacial pace, which is fine. But we did on Tuesday our first in-person anything with kids, and it was just they come and they get a popsicle with their family. And so we have we have a huge parking lot that's obviously not being used and a bunch of sidewalk area. So we put out sidewalk chalk, and each family kind of had a square that they ate their Otter Pop and they drew in chalk. And so it was a nice kind of natural social distancing. Everyone came with masks. It's like a mandate in our state now anyway. Our county's been doing it for a long time though. So everyone came and people did pretty well, although one of our children's directors said, hey, I could see why family church would be really hard right now, because I noticed after, about 10 or 15 minutes, once the kids started seeing their friends, all their guard goes down and, parents are like, oh, I gotta stop. And, some of the staff, one guy got swarmed. He's like, oh, I want to say hi, but he said, I could see how it'd be really hard right now to do that. Because kids haven't seen anyone. I mean, there are some kids that were squealing when they got out of the car, just so excited to see people. And, kids were hopping out of the car before the van was stopped. And so we're going to do it every Tuesday of the summer, I think. But yeah, it was really good to see people, but there's definitely some challenges to in person, even when they're with family. So
for sure, yeah. So you'll be doing Otter Pops. Look at me learning new terminology.
Yes,
you'll be doing Otter Pops all summer. Your Otter Pop budget will be very large this summer.
Yeah, we laughed. One of our staff members, she I think got 25 boxes of Otter Pops at Costco. So I said she's probably a meme somewhere on the internet of just Otter Pop lady, like a Costco flat of Otter Pops. So yeah, that we're doing a hybrid virtual / sort of in-person summer camp. It's basically they can come to the park in the afternoon of the week of summer camp and grab an Otter Pop and play go through an obstacle course or shoot water guns or something. And so yeah, 25, 30 cases of Otter Pops.
And I know your water guns are actually water dishwashing liquid bottles or whatever, right?
Yeah, they'll probably have a Labrador Retriever face or something happy on it to make it not look scary. I don't know.
Right. Oh, I was just going to ask a question. Who did the no, it just escaped me. I'll think of it. So go ahead if somebody else wants to share. Yeah, Doc.
So a couple things for us. Our church this weekend finally opened up for all children's ministry, including nursery, and that I'm not attending right now, so I can't tell you how that went, but I think it went okay. But we are in our area, we're also, like many others, seeing a marked increase. In fact, today we just went under orders that everyone is ordered to be in mask whenever outside and indoors. So that's changing moving forward with things with that, but still needing to do registration, RSVP to be able to come. We're starting to move forward and try and figure out how we can do some things for our families. So we're starting to put in motion several different things that we're going to do. So one of the things we're trying to put together right now is we're looking into either if we can find a business that would partner with us to rent out a drive-in movie theater where we can provide an outlet for families to be able to come. They can still social distance, have a night of fun. If we can't do that, we might be able to find it where then the drive-in theater would be able to allow everyone to purchase the tickets, and then we might be able to get, you know, a percent back as a donation. So we're trying to check that out. But bottom line, try to do that, and then we'll also be able to offer, you know, some entertainment beforehand and that, but just give families an option to be able to get out of the house, still be safe and in social distance, and just try and find ways that we can help them with their kids, give them something to do. So it would be a weeknight that we would do that. We're trying to look at that here later in July or August to do that. A couple other things we're going to do is I'm looking into getting some yard signs made, the, you know, kind of corrugated, putting the yard sign and something that says, you know, you're loved by SOAR Special Needs, and we'll go around and put that in the family's yard. And then I just purchased 1,800 pieces of sidewalk chalk this weekend, and we'll have our volunteers go around town and chalk draw and write sayings in their driveways. Just anything we can do to bring a smile to the family space, and just let them know that they're still being thought about, and that we love them and thinking about them, even if we can't be together with them. And then the last thing we're working on doing is creating a reverse parade, where we'll probably go to, we're trying to see if we can work it where we can partner with one of the local high schools. We'd love to get their high school marching band out there for it, cheerleaders, get all of our volunteers out for that. And then the families would drive through, and then at the end of the parade, we'd give each of the participants, you know, popsicle as they drive away. So just something where, you know, we can get our volunteers involved in multiple of those things, because, you know, we're trying to find ways that we can keep them excited and energized, and you know, knowing that we're still here for them, and we want them to be a part of us too, with that. So we're trying to do those things as we're moving forward there with that. And then we've got our camp coming up here in about 3 weeks. And again, open that up to all of you, especially if you're interested in that. We'd love to have your groups participate in that, but we're getting ready for that, to have the campers do that virtually and have fun with that. So it's kind of where we're at.
You've got a lot going on. And Doc is in Kansas, for those of you who don't know.
Yeah.
So just as we picture these things across the country, you can see we're obviously all in very different places at this point in time. Great thing. Has anybody else done anything with a drive-in theater? Okay. Now, I know, was that your hand raised?
Yeah. I was going to say we haven't yet, but at First Christian we are planning and looking at dates. Maybe August the 6th. We're looking at pulling in some of those inflatable rental like screens that you can have. So we're looking to do that, and, you know, marking off like every third parking space, so you can park a car in a space and then have like bring your own chairs in the next space and then have an empty space. So we're looking at blowing that out pretty big. Maybe August the 6th is the date we're kind of looking at in Canton, Ohio. So we're working on a lot of those details, but yeah, really excited about doing that activity for.
Would you do like a movie?
Community.
A movie?
Yeah.
Or okay, great.
Yep.
So I know there's so Ryan and I we're within 45 minutes or an hour.
About, yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's a movie theater right near me, a drive-in, and a couple weeks ago, I guess they were the highest grossing theater. It's just like piddly little outdoor theater or drive-in theater, but because it was open, it was one of the highest grossing theaters in the country that weekend, which just cracks me up.